The Battle of Cannae, one of the most devastating defeats in Roman history, a moment that shook the mighty Roman Empire to its core. Today we're going to dive deep into the tactics, the strategies, and the brutal reality of one of the bloodiest days in ancient warfare. But before we unravel this epic tale, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. You won't want to miss out on the gripping stories from history that we bring to life every week. Chapter 1. Setting the stage. The Second Punic War. The year was 216 BCE during the Second Punic War, a time when Rome and Carthage were locked in a battle for supremacy over the Mediterranean. Rome was already reeling from defeats at Trebia and Lake Trasimene, but their pride and determination were unshaken. Enter Hannibal Barca, the Carthaginian general who was about to mastermind one of the most brilliant military strategies in history. Hannibal had already crossed the Alps with his war elephants, a feat that in itself seemed impossible, and he had dealt Rome blow after blow. But Rome, as powerful as it was, could not tolerate defeat. They gathered their largest army ever, nearly 80,000 strong, to face Hannibal on the plains of Cannae. What the Romans didn't know was that they were walking straight into a trap. Viewer question 1. Do you think Rome's decision to confront Hannibal head-on with such a large army was a show of strength or a fatal overconfidence? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Chapter 2. Hannibal's Genius Strategy. Hannibal knew he couldn't win by sheer numbers. His army was outnumbered almost 2-1, so he devised a strategy that would turn the Roman strength into their greatest weakness. Hannibal positioned his forces in a crescent formation with his weakest troops at the center, directly facing the might of the Roman legions. Behind them were his most trusted veterans, the elite Carthaginian troops. As the Romans advanced, they saw what they thought was a weak enemy center, easy prey for their powerful infantry. But this was exactly what Hannibal wanted them to believe. The Roman soldiers pushed forward, eager to crush the enemy's heart. What they didn't realize was that they were being pulled deeper and deeper into Hannibal's deadly embrace. When the Roman forces were fully engaged and overcommitted in the center, Hannibal's veteran soldiers on the flanks began to press in. Slowly but surely, the crescent shape of Hannibal's army turned into a deadly circle surrounding the Romans on all sides. Viewer. Question 2. Can you imagine the panic setting in as the Romans realized they were completely surrounded? Do you think they stood a chance at this point, or was their fate already sealed? Tell us what you would have done in that situation. What followed was nothing short of a massacre. The Romans, trapped in Hannibal's encirclement, had no room to maneuver. The tightly packed legionnaires couldn't even lift their arms to fight properly. It was chaos, a nightmare of dust, blood, and despair. The Carthaginian forces, including their fearsome Numidian cavalry, attacked relentlessly, cutting down the Roman soldiers with brutal efficiency. Historians estimate that out of the 80,000 Roman troops, as many as 50,000 to 70,000 were killed in a single day. It was one of the highest single-day death tolls in military history. The Carthaginians lost about 6,000 men, a staggering contrast that speaks to the efficiency and brutality of Hannibal's strategy. Rome's elite officers, including 2 consuls, were either dead or captured. It was not just a military defeat, it was a humiliation. Rome, the eternal city, was brought to its knees by a master tactician who turned their strength into their undoing. Chapter 4. The Aftermath. Rome's Darkest Hour. The news of the defeat at Cannae sent shockwaves through Rome. There was panic, fear, and a realization that they had underestimated Hannibal. Some Roman senators even suggested abandoning Italy entirely. Such was their despair. But in this darkest hour, Rome did something remarkable. They refused to surrender. Instead of negotiating peace with Hannibal, as any other defeated nation might have, Rome doubled down. They restructured their armies, changed their tactics, and refused to meet Hannibal in open battle again. From then on, they adopted the Fabian strategy, avoiding direct confrontations with Hannibal, and instead harassing his forces in small skirmishes, cutting off his supplies, and weakening his allies. Hannibal, despite his victory at Cannae, could never capture Rome itself. His army, although tactically brilliant, was too far from its base in Carthage to sustain a prolonged campaign in enemy territory. Chapter 5. Lessons from Cannae, a tactical masterclass. The Battle of Cannae is studied to this day as a masterpiece of military strategy. Hannibal's use of the double envelopment technique became a textbook example of how a smaller, well-coordinated force could defeat a larger, more powerful enemy. Generals from Napoleon to modern military strategists have analyzed and applied lessons from Cannae to their own battles. But beyond the tactics, Cannae taught Rome a valuable lesson about underestimating their enemy. It was a turning point that led to Rome's transformation into a more adaptable and resilient military force. It marked the beginning of their long road to eventual victory in the Second Punic War. Viewer question 3. Do you believe Rome's resilience after Cannae was the true mark of their greatness, or do you think another civilization in their place would have surrendered? Share your perspective with us. Outro: the legacy of Cannae. The Battle of Cannae remains a symbol of tactical genius and one of the most catastrophic defeats in Roman history. It was a day when the unstoppable force met the immovable object, and the object prevailed through sheer cunning and strategy. Hannibal's victory at Cannae was as much a psychological blow to Rome as it was a physical one, and its echoes can still be heard in the halls of military academies around the world. If you enjoyed this journey into one of history's most remarkable battles, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. We've got plenty more epic tales of strategy, courage, and defeat to share with you. Don't forget to ring the notification bell so you're always the first to uncover the hidden stories of the past. Until next time, remember, the greatest victories are often born from the darkest defeats.